It was the vocal showdown the entire entertainment industry had been holding its collective breath for, a high-stakes collision between viral velocity and institutional prestige that practically fractured the internet. As entertainment correspondents, we are accustomed to covering highly anticipated musical releases, but the 2026 duet between Roberts and Jennifer represents an entirely unprecedented cultural phenomenon. This was not merely a standard collaborative effort. It was a heavyweight title fight disguised as a commercially viable pop ballad. When the reigning reality television champion finally stepped up to the microphone next to a certified EGOT legend, the structural foundations of the music industry shifted. For several months leading up to this release, relentless whispers of high-security meetings in Tennessee had the global mill working in overdrive. Our investigative units initially suspected these heavily guarded studio sessions might be the precursor to a corporate buyout or a transfer of media rights. We now have definitive confirmation that they were locked in a vocal booth, actively recording what would become the most intensely scrutinized duet of the modern decade. The immense pressure surrounding the production of this track was practically suffocating for everyone involved. Roberts carried the massive, unprecedented mandate of 26 million reality television voters into that studio, a demographic he desperately needed to defend and validate. Conversely, possessed an untouchable, multi-decade legacy to protect against a rapidly changing digital landscape. Neither artist could afford to display any sign of vocal weakness on a track that the entire world was waiting to dissect. As the final, soaring note echoed across global streaming platforms, a massive debate immediately erupted online, leaving both critics and fans asking the exact same, previously unthinkable question. Did the viral rookie just manage to blow the seasoned veteran off the stage? While the general public celebrated the official announcement of a generational collaboration, veteran music executives quietly speculated that this highly publicized duet was actually a masterclass in psychological warfare. From an investigative journalism standpoint, examining the underlying motives of this collaboration reveals a fascinating strategic dynamic. Within the tightly knit circles of the professional music industry, agreeing to sing a duet next to Jennifer is widely considered to be a vocal death sentence for the vast majority of recording artists. Her extraordinary range, technical precision, and sheer vocal power have a well-documented history of making even the most seasoned, multi-platinum professionals sound remarkably amateurish by comparison. Almost immediately following the initial press release, intricate conspiracy theories began to flood social media networks and industry message boards. Many seasoned analysts suggested this was a highly calculated, slightly predatory move orchestrated by the old guard of the music business to publicly expose the new digital king's inherent limitations. The prevailing narrative suggested that if Roberts faltered or failed to match her intensity on the track, it would definitively prove to the masses that viral voting numbers and social media engagement mean absolutely nothing without the backing of traditional, powerhouse vocal talent. He was essentially stepping into a highly publicized trap where the margin for error was virtually. The label executives placing this immense weight on Roberts' shoulders were taking an astronomical risk with their most valuable new asset. They were actively testing the newcomer in the most public arena imaginable, gambling his freshly minted superstar status against the unyielding, impenetrable fortress of an established EGOT winner. Long before the general public was allowed to hear a single, highly polished note, leaks emanating from deep inside the production team painted an incredibly tense and chaotic picture of the recording process. Our entertainment desk has spoken with multiple sources intimately connected to the Nashville studio sessions, and their anonymous testimonies reveal a production environment fraught with intense creative friction. According to these inside reports, the rehearsal process was incredibly tense, characterized by clashing egos and fundamentally opposed artistic philosophies. Roberts reportedly arrived at the sessions wanting to lean heavily into the raw, unpredictable, and highly stylized vocal runs that originally transformed him into a viral sensation. He aimed to produce a track that would immediately cater to the algorithm-driven preferences of his massive digital audience. Conversely, consistently pushed for a much more structured, classic orchestral arrangement, one that prioritized technical vocal perfection, dynamic control, and traditional musicality over fleeting internet trends. Informants detailed instances of multiple scrapped recording takes, extensive rewrites, and heated, hours-long debates over which artist would be granted the dominant harmony on the track's crucial final bridge. This was not the friendly mentorship dynamic that their respective public relations teams were attempting to sell to the media. Instead, it was a legitimate, uncompromising battle for sonic territory between two artists who absolutely refused to be relegated to the background. The intense friction behind the microphone eventually bled directly into the final of the audio, that the finished product captured the raw, competitive energy that defined those secret Nashville sessions. When the highly anticipated track finally impacted global streaming platforms at midnight, it became immediately, undeniably clear that neither artist had entered the vocal booth with the intention of holding back. As music critics and audio analysts began to officially break down the performance, the sheer magnitude of the vocal collision became the primary headline across all major entertainment news outlets. The sophisticated arrangement of the duet started deceptively simple, intentionally allowing Roberts' signature smooth tone and modern phrasing to take the definitive lead, carefully building the song's emotional gravity. However, the exact moment the second verse initiated, the entire dynamic of the record shifted completely. Jennifer entered the track with a staggering vocal weight that instantly commanded the room, effectively reminding millions of listeners exactly why she owns an Oscar and a Grammy. From that point forward, instead of harmoniously blending their voices into a cohesive unit, the two artists were actively, aggressively competing for dominance. They rapidly traded complex vocal runs, deliberately pushed their respective registers to the absolute physical limit, and transformed the dramatic climax of the song into an explosive, unyielding vocal duel. Industry vocal coaches and technical experts have publicly noted the extreme difficulty of the acrobatics performed during the final 90 seconds of the track. It was the exact moment the song permanently shifted from a commercially safe, friendly duet into a relentless, heavyweight title fight. The sheer force of their combined performances created an auditory spectacle that left industry veterans stunned, immediately cementing the track's status as one of the most technically demanding and fiercely competitive vocal collaborations in modern music history. Within mere minutes of the official midnight release, social media timelines transformed into a fractured digital as fans, critics, and casual listeners aggressively debated who actually won the vocal exchange. Our data analytics team monitored an unprecedented, massive spike in global engagement the moment the song became available, as the internet essentially fractured into two fiercely divided camps. The intense debate over who delivered the superior performance quickly overshadowed the lyrical content of the song itself. One highly vocal half of the global audience unequivocally declared that Roberts had more than held his own, successfully overpowering the seasoned legend during the track's crucial final chorus, and firmly cementing his status as the undisputed new voice of a generation. Conversely, the other half of the digital population passionately argued that was clearly, graciously holding back out of professional courtesy, effortlessly swallowing his modern, stylized ad-libs with a single, perfectly placed, earth-shattering high note. The discourse reached such an intense level of scrutiny that professional audio engineers began extracting and posting isolated vocal stems online, attempting to scientifically and mathematically prove which artist possessed the superior breath control, pitch accuracy, and overall technique. This digital became a primary news story in its own right, dominating trending topics and spawning thousands of reaction videos across every major video platform. The public discourse effectively transformed a standard musical release into a global sporting event, with millions of listeners actively keeping score and fiercely defending their chosen champion in the comment sections of every major entertainment publication. While fiercely dedicated were busy fighting digital battles over vocal supremacy, the financial realities and undeniable business genius of this collaboration began to quietly surface in the corporate sector. As investigative reporters analyzing the business of entertainment, we must look beyond the vocal acrobatics to truly appreciate the ultimate of this entire. While fans were distracted by the manufactured rivalry and fighting over who outsang who, the financial data revealed a brilliantly executed corporate strategy. This fierce, highly publicized tension generated more lucrative streaming revenue, organic social media engagement, and mainstream press coverage in 48 hours than a standard solo release could realistically achieve in a full calendar year. By stepping into the ring with a legendary figure, Roberts successfully secured the ultimate cosign from Hollywood royalty, instantly legitimizing his rapidly accelerating career to an older, much more traditional demographic that historically ignores reality television winners. Simultaneously, Jennifer strategically directly into Roberts' massive, highly engaged younger, definitively proving that her voice and brand are just as dominant and relevant in the 2026 digital era as they were 2 decades ago. The competitive tension in the recording booth may have been entirely real, but the resulting profitability was calculated down to the final decimal point. Ultimately, the passionate debate over whether Roberts actually outsang Jennifer remains entirely subjective. However, what is not up for debate is the flawless, billion-dollar execution of this cultural moment. They successfully bottled the whispers of an industry rivalry and sold it back to the public, proving that in Hollywood, controversy is simply another form of currency.